poppin'? What's good? It's your girl Kadriya. No more Dynasty on them, y'all. It's your girl Kadriya, and I am back. So, as you guys know, school is over, y'all. Like, I'm an official junior in high school, as you guys know. You know, the Queen Bee is arriving, you know what I'm saying?
Your name would even start with a B. Don't even do it.
The Queen K is arriving, as you guys know. Junior year is here, and we are back and better than ever, as you guys know. So, Skye, tell me a little bit about yourself. What's new?
Now that school's over, I'm a junior too. Turned 16 in 3 weeks. Ow. I'm a Gemini, yeah. Okay, but I'm a junior now. Now turning 16, so that's all that's new. Nothing's new.
Nothing's new with me, you know what I'm saying? A girl single, so I hit my line one time. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't hit her line. She don't need no more boyfriends, no more boo friends, no flings, none of that.
She just mad because she ain't had one in a while. But it's
I
okay.
don't want one. Then people be playing you.
Anyways, whatever. So today I have 2 corny jokes. And so my first corny joke is, what do you call a row of people lifting mozzarella cheese?
Cheesy?
A cheesy pickup line. Get it? Because I just hit you with a cheesy one. No one? No one. Really. That one was a good one for once. Anyways, how do you stop a bull from charging? You cancel its credit card. Get it?
No, I don't.
Because you charge his credit card too much. He's swiping his credit card too much.
That's so stupid. These are the worst ones she's ever done. I'm not even playing.
Are you mad because you couldn't come up with anything?
Girl, you looked those up. Those are the worst ones.
How are you gonna say I looked them up? These came from the back of my brain.
That's the problem. That's why they're not funny.
Oh wow. Yeah, maybe the back of your brain is not connected because your jokes aren't funny either. Anyways. You're not funny, but anyways, today we're going to be talking about racism and what is going on in the world today. As you guys know, racism is becoming a big thing nowadays, and police brutality and everything is just making a big effect on the world. You know, first it went from coronavirus, now we over here to, you know, racism, and we need to address it as teens that there is racism in the world. We knew that there was racism, but I feel like there's not a lot of teens that speak on it. We just say things that go on in the present day. So the first thing that I'm gonna get started with is I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you one, and then Skye's gonna tell you what the definitions of racism is, and we're gonna go on from there. So the first one is the belief that all members, so basically all citizens of America, of each race possesses characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race or races. So I read an article and it basically said that this one man, it's like, his name is John, I don't know how to say his last name, but he said that the ideal race for everybody is white people. Now, that is not, in my opinion, that he just feels like they're superior over everybody else. He feels like black people are dirty because of our skin. You know, we're darker than them, so they're gonna think that we're dirty.
Like Mexicans
and yes, it does include Mexicans and stuff like that. So, what's the second definition, Skye?
So the second definition of racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. So it's basically just like yours, but worded different.
Yeah. And
wait, I got a question.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound stupid, but like,
nothing is stupid in here.
no, I can't ask it.
No, you can't ask it. Go ahead.
So like, people have many different definitions of like prejudiceness. Is that how you like prejudiceness? Mm-hmm. So what exactly is it? Because I've heard like a whole bunch of different ones. Because like, oh, she's prejudiced, but then she's prejudiced, and it's like, well, she said one thing and that's one thing, but then she's racist over here. Like I don't.
Right. What is the definition of prejudice?
The actual definition of prejudice?
Prejudge.
Prejudge, right.
You're prejudging. Prejudice. Prejudge. Right. You're prejudging someone before you know them. Right. You're prejudging them before you know anything about that person. You look at them and say, oh, she's stupid. Or you look at them, but you've never spoke to them.
So is it like with all blondes are dumb? Is this something like that?
Right.
That's
that could be a stereotype.
So it's kind of stereotypical.
Or you can look at them and just that particular person or group of people.
Right, and with that being said, everybody has the famous app called TikTok. I mean, like, if you don't have TikTok, what are you doing with your life? But I watched this TikTok, and it was basically kids. They were white, and they were sitting in a classroom, and they had a line of races. So it was every single race. It was like, the very pale white person, more tannish white person, Latinos, and then 3 shades of black people, light skin, brown skin, and dark skin. And so they asked the kids that were white. They were like, which one is the dumb kid? Which kid is the most likely to get fat? Or this kid that's dirty to you? What's this, that, the other? They were asking them questions to see what is going on in their heads. And I feel like it always does start young. Like, racism is not something that is just pops up in your mind. It is something that is taught to them. Like, I know some kids that their parents will be like, you see that kid right there? Like, don't talk to those type of people because they don't look a certain way. They don't look like us. So so you shouldn't talk to them. So they feel like, oh, well, mommy says this, so I'm going to listen to mommy. So racism is more something that is taught than it is something that just pops in your head, just like an idea. So they asked them that, and all the kids kept pointing to one specific race, which is obviously the black people, because they didn't look like them. And they kept pointing to the darkest one. They kept saying, this one is the one that's going to get fat. This is the one that's dirty. This is the one that is dumb, that doesn't make grades. Well, I'll have you know, we are well educated, baby. Yes, we might have a little bit of weight on us, but it's some weight that you wish you had, baby. Okay? God. Yeah, it may cause health issues sometimes, but you wish you had this weight, baby. You always complain about how, you're super skinny and I wish I had a big butt, like you wish you were Sir Mix-a-Lot or whatever. But that's not the case. Like, I mean, you have to work for it, and we don't. It just comes natural. You love our culture. You love eating our food. You love copying us. So if you love everything about us and you're trying to beat us, then why are you trying to discriminate?
That reminded me of what's that show on Netflix? Dear White People. In that first episode, them people was dressed as black people. They put on, what was it, spray tan? Mm-hmm. Or it was paint. And they put on paint and spray tan. They had these fake chains and these gold mouths. Bro, that episode was so funny because they busted in there. I can't even tell you because it's some other stuff that happened.
The place that it comes the most with racism are stores, churches, schools, your own house. Like, people, like, police will just barge into your house and just, shoot you just because they thought you were this person.
What do you mean, really churches? Who's racism in church?
There used to be, back in the 1900s, if you weren't lighter than the wood that was separating the doors, you couldn't enter into the church. So if...
Who did that?
Yes.
Brown paper bag.
Right, brown paper bag.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
They used to do this thing called blackface. It's where they paint their faces black, and they used to dress as clowns. Have you seen, like, the dolls and stuff like that they've made of us? Like, back when slavery was around, and they probably said, like, can I have a toy? Yeah, well, it's not a voodoo doll per se, but, like, right, it has big lips, big eyes. They have, like, super pink lips, and they're, like, and it's super dark, like it's as dark as that poster, like it's black, like jet black. And they'd be like, this is what a black person's doll looked like. Thankfully, like, over the years we've gotten lighter, so I mean, like, that's not the case, but they would do stuff like that. Like, you never heard of that?
I never did that. Yeah. All I knew was church were being bombed, and I know you couldn't do certain stuff, like you couldn't eat anywhere. You had to, in a movie theater, you had to sit at the very top. Or you couldn't use this water fountain. Like, that was, I didn't know they did that.
That was an advantage for some black people with the movie theaters, because that was their chance to get revenge on the white people. Because I know my grandpa, he used to go to the movie theaters and they'd be like, we didn't have fun sitting at the top, but we didn't care about being at the bottom. That's too close. And they're like, they would always talk about how that they would throw popcorn at the white kids and they wouldn't even care. They'd be all the way at the top. They're doing popcorn and they're throwing it and they're like, whatever. Oh my gosh, like, they thought that was so funny, and the white kids would be like, what happened? It's raining popcorn or something like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't think it's raining popcorn, but either way, And the last one that is most common in is social media, such as Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. Like I know,
What about Twitter?
Twitter has its own thing. It's called Black Twitter. So they have their own individual like Twitter page. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a different app. It's still Twitter, but Black Twitter and White Twitter are kind of separated in what they do.
You ever see Marlon?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember that episode where his kid went out for modeling, and they did that little, what he put on his shirt? What did it say, Funky Monkey on it?
I don't know.
It said something, but it was like derogatory. And so the whole board were full of white people. So apparently if you posted, I think he said Twitter. He said if you posted on Twitter, something will happen. What you laughing at?
Nothing.
You're laughing at me?
No, not you. You're good.
No, keep going. Keep going. Yes, keep going.
Because Kenny be.
Anyways, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, so basically, like, if that was if we, I don't know how to word it. If everybody got together like Black Twitter, do you think that it would stop? Because on that show, once he found out how many people were on Black Twitter and like all this other stuff, like they completely like dissed the idea of the Funky Monkey, like everything. So if you think people band together like Black Twitter, like Black Instagram or Black Snapchat or something like that, like do you think it would be less on social media?
No, I don't think it's going to be less on social media. I think it'd just be more people complaining about it, and they'd be, like trying to take us down, like on TikTok. Like right now, I deleted TikTok only because there is this thing going around, like everybody was trying to make this one post, right? And it was about the George Floyd case. And they're trying to, spread awareness, and they're trying to make a Black Lives Matter movement. And Twitter blocked all the hashtags for Black people. So you would have to put like White Lives Matter, or you would have to put All Lives Matter, because then because every white person is different. Like I feel like white people, whenever it comes to stuff like this, they care. Some of them, I will admit, they have a lot of them that care, and they're super supportive. But then you have those ones where they're like, well, I don't see how this can happen, da 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 da. Like there's like the George Floyd case. As everybody knows, George Floyd has recently passed away, and it was because of police brutality. He got hit. The police officer put his knee in his neck, and basically he couldn't breathe. And they want to blame it on, whenever the autopsy came out, they want to blame it on his underlying health conditions, such as like heart disease and stuff like that. But when you're using excessive force, that's not even in your training, because you do go to training every month to learn new moves. But if that's not a part of it, then why are you using it? It's a race thing. People, when you're white, you see people differently, and you're like, oh, this is bad. Especially like Kenny was saying, that we got a new president, President Trump. He's making everybody feel like, he's making everybody feel like, that racism is okay. He's like, like with building a wall against Mexico and the borders, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
to prevent,
China.
right, and like he wants to send us Black people back to Africa. Well, I'll have you know, not all Black people
are not
from Africa. Okay?
We are American.
I am from Texas, Garland, Texas. If you want to look it up, you can see my stats.
South side of Garland. That's where I'm from. Okay.
South Garland, born and raised, baby. Okay? That's it. You can't say, oh, I'm gonna send you back to Africa. What part? Where you gonna find it in my DNA? I'm not from Nigeria. You can't say I'm from Zimbabwe. You can't say I'm from Haiti and Colombia. All these people.
Colombia, is that what you go?
They got Black people in Colombia. Don't do it. Okay? Like you gonna say I'm from all these places, but it's not accurate. Like come up with your receipts.
Where is he from?
Like Lord knows, probably from Ireland. Since you want to be racist about it, probably from Ireland.
Canada.
Well,
I don't know.
Could be, but I feel like white people shouldn't discriminate. Like I was in an all white class in kindergarten. I got a picture to prove it. Anybody can see. I'm the biggest minority right there on the corner. You couldn't miss me. You can't tell me Kadriya wasn't in that class, because she was. She was getting that private education, okay? Better than y'all's public education, okay? My mom made sure I was well educated when I was young, okay? So I could be with my friends that I'm with today. So don't try me on it. Don't try us on it. But what were your personal experiences? Have you dealt with racism whenever you were younger?
Mine wasn't really racist. I mean, I don't really know if it counts. But when I was little, I was bigger and I was like way darker. So I would just get talked about for that. I don't know if it would count as racism, but
Were the
teachers
white kids
that,
like talking about you?
okay, so it
or,
would be sometimes it would be white teachers because it would be some white teachers, or it would be like the white kids. Because I don't know why, but kids feel the need to have boyfriends when you're 7 or 8 or something like
Oh,
that.
I had about 3 of them in my kindergarten class.
Oh,
My
we
mom
know
knows,
you did.
My mom knows about that. I had Liam, Chandler. If y'all out there, still hit me up because you know I'm single.
Really?
Shut up. But I don't know. So apparently, if you go and a white boy likes a black girl, he already has a white girlfriend, then I mean, I can't really say what they say because this is a kids show. But
I
it's
mean,
like,
yes, you can. I mean, it's teens.
no, I'm
it's
not
open.
gonna say that.
It's open air. Go ahead.
No.
With discretion.
Like what?
I mean, if you're cussing, then
yeah, it was like these kids were cussing and everything. Like I don't know. I think they got it from their parents, but it was bad. Like I never realized how bad it was until like I actually think about it because little kids are mean these days. Like
they
really
real are.
mean.
Yeah, they
like
really
the
are.
fact that white kids think chocolate milk came from black people and we just produce chocolate milk, like that's not normal.
Yeah, me and Skye have encountered a little kid
I've been
asking
asked, do
us,
you make chocolate milk? Can I get some chocolate milk from your boobs?
Yeah,
I don't wanna be
me and
asked.
Skye
I
has
don't
encountered
wanna
a
be
couple
sucking on my
kids
boobies.
that came up to us asking if we make chocolate milk. Like it's not a joke. Like they
really think chocolate milk come from black people and white people make white milk. Where strawberry milk come from then?
Well, was that racism or was it just ignorance? Well, racism is ignorance.
That is
right. So I mean,
I don't know. That was just like my parents told me black people make chocolate milk. Can I get some of your chocolate milk?
See, once again, it goes back to it's taught whenever it's younger.
It's a learned behavior.
But I was mostly stereotyped when I was little. It was mostly, or not stereotyped, but race.
That's you're being prejudged.
Yeah, I was prejudiced in school. That's mostly what it was.
And
like some teachers didn't even like me because even though I was smart, I was the smartest one in my class, and I will always get put down for it because you're black. You can't be that smart.
Yeah.
My grade is an A. This white kid got a C, and he doing all this other stuff. Like I remember my white teacher. I was in the 3rd grade. And she got mad at me because I missed 2 questions, and I got like a 90 something. And she was like, this is why I don't want black kids in my class. They're always messing it up. But before, because there was only like 2 black people in there, and it was an honors class. And she was like, this is why I don't want the black kids in my honors class. They messed up your ranking. I think that's what it was.
Ranking, her percentage.
Yeah, they messed up the ranking, and I was just like, this white kid missed half of the test. And he in the honors 3rd grade. I missed 2. And my mama had like a major problem, and my dad, I don't even know what he did. I'm pretty sure he went off on him. But I think she's fired now. But it's like a lot of white teachers don't like black kids because they don't understand that even though we're black, we're still smart.
But
we're still smarter than y'all. After us picking all that cotton and doing all this other stuff, we gained some smarts.
That's true.
Most of the stuff made today is made from black people. That's why we got peanut butter, we got iron, we got, what's the iron thing called? What's the iron thing?
The iron board?
Yeah, we got the ironing board. Like, yeah.
That's
I
true.
can't think of nothing else.
That's I like gloves.
It's everything.
Yeah, everything is made. Like
Right,
we make your clothes. We make your clothes.
Hard
You know what? We should have left some of them ticks in there. We was making them so they could just be poked. That's what we should have done.
Girl, no. But I remember when I was in 1st grade, I even ran to my mom about this. It was even a black teacher, but you gotta remember other black people don't even like other black people. Like I watched on the Dr. Phil show about that one black girl. She's black herself and she's saying, I don't like black people. They're ghetto.
You talking about
They're
the
not
one that says
educated.
she's black, but she really white and she ain't
Yes,
got big
because her mom liked her when she was little and told her that she was white.
Bro, I laughed so hard for that. She's like, my lips aren't as big as these people. My nose is not big.
She was like, they're not well educated. They're not this, that, the other. And so Dr. Phil.
My hair is in nappy. My hair is straight.
Right, and she's straightening it, and it's so thin. It's like paper thin. It's not even thick. It's like as thick as a pancake. I mean, like thin as a pancake. Like it's like that big. And then she gonna say this lady, she flew out just to be there for her, to show her that she has many degrees. She helps kids just like her realize that there's better to the world than just what's going on in your hometown. She's like, I don't like the ghetto. This is I don't like the way they talk. They have stuttering issues. They can't do this, that, the other. And I'm like, well, you're black yourself, so you basically calling yourself a hood rat. You're calling yourself uneducated. I don't know, and I don't promote that type of stuff, okay?
I found out that most black people really want to go back to segregation. Like, I found like most black people really miss segregation. And apparently it's because you share the money in like your own race. So I talked to my stepmom and I was just like, he told me that. He was like, I don't like I'll tell you later. He was like, I don't like MLK because why can't we just stick to our own? Like, why does it have to be interracial marriages? Like, I don't like white people. And I'm just like, you're really talking down these people like we're doing it. Like, what did these people do to you? He was just like, why can't we just go back to segregation because that was so much better? I'm like, you want to go back to being beat and little kids getting killed in church bombs and not having to do certain stuff and you can't have certain rights? I was like, you want to go back to that? He was like, yeah. And I was just like, why? And he just told me, he was like, because it's better. But apparently when it was, you only shared your money with your own community. But as soon as that stopped, black people was like, oh yeah, we can go do this. And so we shared our money with them. So now it was like our money isn't ours anymore, it's theirs. So I found out, I was like, that it makes sense. But then again, there are more lows than there are highs. Because if you go back to that, you can't do anything. Like black women probably won't be able to go back to college. And if they do, probably gonna have to go to certain colleges that white people don't want you to go to.
Right.
Like laws are probably gonna get all jacked up. Like the amendments, the 19th Amendment, I think it was. One of those amendments, 14th, 13th, one of those. Like all those are gonna be gone.
For voting?
Yeah, voting. Everything's probably gonna change. I don't want to go to segregation. I don't want to get beat.
Me either.
Because I'm too fiery for that. Because I'm gonna beat back, and then that's really gonna be a problem.
Period. This is my last personal experience, and then we're gonna move on to how there's 3 facts to prove that what is it called, how the government is racist, like the Supreme Court and stuff like that, how they're racist and how they're like proving, black people and stuff like that. So whenever I was in 1st grade, I remember I had a black substitute, and I also had a black teacher, but she loved me. But either way, I had a black substitute teacher, and she was calling roll call. You know what roll call is, whenever you go through the list and name your names. And so, as you know, my name is not an average name that you see on a daily basis. Kadriya, you will not hear that anywhere else but right here, the one and only, okay? So she got it incorrect. She said like Kadriya or Kadriya or something like that. When people mess it up, I mean, like, it's not a common name, so you wouldn't know how to say it, right? So she proceeds to tell me, she was like, what kind of name is that? Like, where did your mom get that from? Like, she was like, did she just put it together? Or did she just pull it out her butt or something like that? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, my name is unique. I love my name. And then my mom was like, who is this? Because I ran to her and I was like, Mom, this teacher said this about my name. And she was like, She was like, where's this teacher at? Like, my mom is all for me, she's 10 toes down. So if you try and mess with me, you're gonna have another one coming, okay? But anyway, she kept saying all this stuff. She was like, where'd you get this from? Like, did she get it from Africa or something like that? And I was like, well, I'll have you know, my name is not African. It's actually a German name. Thank you very much. And it's not very common, but it means destiny. So my mom always tells me it was her destiny to have me. So if you want to play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Let's do this. Like, play fire with fire, baby. Anyways, I will tell you guys 3 facts that you can get from opendemocracy.net, and it's going to prove how blacks don't get the equal treatment like white people and Latinos and stuff like that. So the first one is, the police stop blacks and Latinos at rates that are much higher than whites in New York City where people of color make up half the population. 80% of the NYPD stops were of blacks and Latinos. And when whites were stopped, only 8% were frisked. So basically, only 8% were only like taken away and stuff like that. And then when blacks and Latinos were stopped, only 85% were frisked, according to information provided by the NYPD. The same is true most other places as well. In California and other places, that blacks and Latinos are most likely to be stopped before a white person, which is very true. Like with the George Floyd case, he got a knee stuck in his neck and he couldn't breathe and he died. But a dude had a double murder, was sitting on the ground and couldn't breathe, and then they gave him water. They sat him up and gave him water, and that picture was posted around, and they were like, oh, well, we gave this dude water, but do you realize what color he is? Like, obviously he is not black. So you give this other man water when he couldn't breathe, but if it was a black person that couldn't breathe, we just gonna let you die. Like, it doesn't make sense how you're gonna just do that and then like give another person water. It really doesn't make sense, and this needs to be stopped, because white people feel like they're higher than everybody and high and mighty because all presidents were black except for Barack Obama.
Period.
Right?
Go Barack. Yeah.
Okay, because she kind of scared me with that, but all right, because I was over here thinking of my thoughts, she just like jumped at me. You good, but it comes to show that not everybody's the same. Like, you need to treat others the same. Like, as your mom always taught you, treat others how you talk. And y'all were at the bottom, y'all be like, oh, all white lives matter, please help me. Little Timmy just got killed today, and I can't do it today. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and also, the next one is, once arrested, 80% of the people in the criminal justice system get a public defender for their lawyer. Race plays a big role as well, because once you're stopped in any urban courtroom and look at the color, people who are waiting for public defenders are black people. We don't get public defenders. Despite often heroic efforts by public defenders, the system gives them much more work and much less money than prosecution, which basically they give white people, a lower bond than black people, because if a white person were to go out and murder somebody, they'd probably get life with parole, something like that, like they get out, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But if it was a black person, it'd probably be the automatic death penalty. But as you guys know, we can't do the death penalty in Texas, so they'd have to just sit it out through life.
They do get the death penalty.
I didn't think they did.
I don't think they do unless
it's
like drastic.
Unless it's like major. I didn't think that they still did it.
Capital murder.
Capital, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then the American Bar Association, not only radical branch, reviewed the U.S. public defender system in 2004, and all concluded all too often defendants plead guilty even if they're innocent, without really understanding their legal rights or what's occurring. The fundamental right to a lawyer that America assumes applies to everyone accused of criminal conduct effectively does not exist in a practice for countless people across the U.S. So if you want to look up more, how about y'all go on opendemocracy.net, and you can see the 14 reasons why black people get discriminated and how the judicial system is racist. But also, this is the last thing I want to talk about is the sentencing process. This is something that the sentencing process, the sentencing project. It's basically the sentencing project is Washington D.C.'s based research and advocacy center working to reduce the use of incarceration in the United States and address racial disparities in the criminal justice system. So basically, they kind of help us black people, get out of the cell instead of keep putting us in the cell for dumb reasons. So that was today's topic about racism. White people, be kind to us. We do more for you than you ever did for us. Come on now, let's just be honest. If you see a person down the street, that's black, don't discriminate. We are all the same. Y'all talk wrong, we talk wrong, It don't really matter, but we are all the same. Anything you want to say, Skye?
Good
All
luck. I mean, I don't know. She basically put it out there. I can't say nothing else.
All right. Well, as you guys know, you guys will see me in 2 weeks for another show, and you have watched Teen Dynasty.
Good.